Thank you very much, dear countrymen and women, and the youth of our country. Today, we have this press engagement here at Pamosi Hotel in Lusaka, where basically we have a few issues that we would like to share with the nation. The first thing we have this morning is that on the behalf of President Hakainde Hichilema, on the behalf of his entire cabinet and government, and indeed on the behalf of the citizens of this country and my own behalf, do wish to convey our deepest and heartfelt condolences on the untimely demise and loss of Honorable Peter Kapala's wife, who passed on yesterday in Lusaka. This is a very sad experience because it comes at a time when, as citizens and indeed as humanity, we are getting into a festive mood to celebrate Christmas and also to celebrate New Year. So President Hakainde Hichilema sends his deepest condolences and wishes Honorable Peter Kapala and his entire family God's strength and mercies during these trying moments. The President has instructed me, the nation know, that him, please switch off that TV. The second issue I would like to deal with this morning is the issue to do with the announced and purported expulsions of members of parliament from the Patriotic Front by Mr. Given Lubinda, who is acting president of the Patriotic Front faction. We would like to indicate here as government that we are a government of laws, and therefore all our citizens, including members of parliament, are protected by the laws of the land. In terms of parliamentarians, what they did on Monday to vote for Bill number 7 is within their prescribed privileges and within their mandate as given by Article 76 of the Republic of Zambia. Therefore, to find an announcement that those members of parliament of the Patriotic Front who voted for Bill number 7 have to be expelled is quite startling and hair-raising, because it is at variance and an affront to the law. Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, which is the Parliamentary Privileges and Immunities Act, does provide for privileges and immunities to members of parliament as they go around to perform their function within the House and within the precincts of parliament. And therefore, we wish to indicate that the purportedly or announced purported expulsion of the members of parliament of the Patriotic Front who voted for Bill number 7 is an act in futility, and it was just application of political cosmetics to try and soothe their egos after what happened over Bill number 7. There is no legal consequence whatsoever, and therefore citizens should treat that announced expulsion as mere politicking. In fact, it amounts to an attempted interference to the work of parliamentarians, and Honorable Given Lubinda, being a seasoned but now former member of parliament, ought to know, or at least should have known, that what he purported to have been announcing to the nation is a nullity. Yes, the Patriotic Front do have a constitution which governs the conduct of their membership, that include members of parliament. But remember that in terms of our constitution, any law which is at variance, including acts of parliament, which are at variance with the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia, to the extent to which they are at variance, cannot be sustained, cannot be justiciable. So, any law, therefore, such as the constitution of a political party, which at law is referred to as a club, cannot be used to extinguish the rights of members of parliament provided for by the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia. So, the electorates in those particular constituencies where we have members of parliament from the Patriotic Front who voted for Bill number 7 should know in advance that their members of parliament will remain in office until Parliament adjourns sine die. The provisions, if any, seeking to get legal grounds from the Patriotic Front manifesto, or rather constitution, to expel these members to the extent that the same is inconsistent with the constitution, is unsustainable. I also want to take this opportunity to let my colleagues, the members of parliament who are the subject of this kind of political victimization, to know that they stand on firm grounds. No law framed against members of parliament such as this will be sustained by any court of law in Zambia. There is nothing. So it is important at this particular stage for the citizens to know that that expulsion was just on paper, and it is just worth the salt of that particular paper on which Honorable Given Lubinda was reading. There shall be no by-elections that may arise between now and the adjournment of Parliament sine die, somewhere I think in May, arising out of the expulsion of members of Parliament who voted for Bill number 7. They remain in situ. They remain in office. They remain members of Parliament of the Patriotic Front. Resolved. That is the time when we shall see who is going to stand on what political party ticket in 2026 for the general elections. For me, I'm very clear that members of parliament will choose those who want to recontest their seats, who will choose to stand on a political party ticket of their choice in accordance with our democratic tenets. As a country, no one will be coerced no one will be intimidated, no one will be threatened. And regardless of where you stand, the people of Zambia will have a final say through the ballot. The good news now is the citizens now know who stands for what. The citizens know who means what for country. And now the citizens know who can be relied upon and trusted for their weight. And the citizens know those who specialize in politics of propaganda, politics of misinforming citizens. The citizens know. And going forward, I urge citizens to take note of everything that we political leaders have said and done, so that when it matters most, you are able to inform your choices accordingly. Those who stand on shifting sand should know that the people of Zambia want leaders of morality who would like to provide principled leadership. Those who were saying they are leaders of Ichabache, and when it was time to include young people in parliament, they are the ones who debated vigorously against the inclusion of young people. You now know for what they stand for. That amendment of the Constitution, which is now law, is no longer debatable. It's no longer contestable. It is just awaiting application to its full extent. But notwithstanding that, already you can see from the media as of yesterday that more and more young people, more and more women, more and more differently abled have already begun to have their voices heard even louder. That is what President Hakainde Hichilema wanted. Now, beyond just speaking the way they spoke across the country yesterday to express their gratitude to the amendment of the Constitution, we want them to speak through a vote as they make their laws to govern their country going forward. I thought we needed to clarify that, because I've been receiving a lot of calls to say, are we now going for by-elections because of that expulsion? There is no expulsion whatsoever. He was, and they were just trying to massage their ego to have temporary political psychic satisfaction, not anything serious whatsoever. The nation is moving forward. So I thought that I needed to also take this opportunity to let the nation know that the government has taken note of the pastoral letter. The government of the Republic of Zambia has taken note of the pastoral letter issued yesterday, 18 December 2025, by the Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops on the closure of the Jubilee Year of Hope 2025. Coincidentally, the pastoral letter was issued on the same day the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, assented to the Constitutional Amendment Bill number 7 of 2025 into law. Government acknowledges the important role the Catholic Church has historically played and continue to play in Zambia's national development, democratic discourse, promotion of peace and social justice, and moral guidance. It also appreciates the spirit in which the pastoral letter was issued as it tried to give hope to Christians as well as all citizens, regardless of the situation they may find themselves in. I want to state that this government, under the able leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema, is a listening and inclusive government. As such, we respect the bishop's rights and responsibilities to offer counsel on matters affecting the well-being of the nation and its citizens, as demonstrated in the pastoral letter of yesterday. We welcome constructive engagement that is anchored on mutual respect, national interest, and shared values of peace, unity, and development. Government further wishes to reaffirm its unwavering commitment to working in partnership with the Church, including the Catholic Church in Zambia, in addressing socio-economic challenges and strengthening democratic governance, promoting accountability, and uplifting the lives of all our citizens, particularly the vulnerable and marginalized of our society. The New Dawn administration remains guided by the principles of transparency, dialogue, and servant leadership. Where concerns have been raised, government is open to continued engagement through appropriate platforms to ensure clarity, civility, mutual understanding, and collaborative problem-solving approaches to issues of national importance. We also wish to assure the nation that government remains committed to safeguarding constitutionalism, human rights, the rule of law, and the freedom of expression, including the freedom of the Church to speak on national issues without fear or favor. Zambia's strength has always rested in its unity and collective responsibility of handling national matters. It is through cooperation between government, the Church, the civil society, and the citizens that we can continue to build a peaceful, prosperous, and inclusive nation, one that is going to reflect the aspirations of all of us as citizens, standing on the basis of mutual equality and respect for one another under the motto or banner, One Zambia, One Nation. Government appreciates the words of the bishops and will continue engaging the Church as we continue to work together for the common good of our beloved country. Let us continue to journey together as pilgrims of hope, in truth and in love. As we are in this festive season of remembering the sacrifices of our Savior, Jesus Christ, this is time to remind ourselves of the importance of unity and peace. And it is also a platform to wishing one another the very best, and also to thank one another of the best we have been for the past year. And since this is a farming season, as we wish Merry Christmas and prosperous New Year, happy prosperous New Year for the forthcoming year, government wants to thank the farmers for their efforts they put that in 2026 we posted a bumper harvest we have not seen before. And this year, this far, in this farming season, we have seen a rain pattern which is almost unprecedented, raining normally, ordinarily, and if it continues this way, right almost across the country, we expect a harvest better than last year. So, it is for that reason that we must thank our farmers and encourage them to do even more this year, so that we produce more food for our people. The President has also directed me to remind my dear colleagues, the members of Parliament, that he has guided and directed that all members of Parliament, regardless of political party affiliation, now that Parliament is on recess, the President wants us to do two things. Number one, to go and sensitize the electorates, the citizens, on the contents and effect of the constitutional amendment, Bill number 7, which was assented to yesterday by the President, so that the intended beneficiaries can begin to position themselves in relation to what these amendments were intended to achieve. So, let all members of Parliament go and be the spokespersons of these amendments, so that our people can understand the law and its ramifications. Number two, the President has directed that all members of Parliament, now that we are on recess, let us go back to our fields. Those with farms, let's go to our farms and join the farming activity, so that we produce more food for our people and lead by example. When we do that, we'll be doing what he called for yesterday, hard work. And when our citizens get used to embracing the idea of hard work, some of the challenges we are faced with will be a thing of the past. We stand at a very different privileged position to turn around the economic fortunes of our country. No one will do it if we don't do it. The question to each one of you out there, citizens, is what is it that I'm doing to create a Zambia that I wish for? This is what we had this morning to share with the citizens. I don't know if you have questions, my dear colleagues from the media.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Good morning.
Morning. You may wish to speak up so that colleagues can hear.
Okay. Morning, Honorable Minister.
Morning.
My name is Mweetwa. I stand to be corrected, but I feel your comments on the opposition, the PF. I think there's a story, yes, that there's an announcement that those that voted for Bill 7 should be expelled. Is government supposed to be commenting on internal matters? Isn't that expulsion and that issue just between or amongst the PF? And now you're indicating that we should consider that expulsion as a nullity. And we should consider that from government, because it's sort of an internal matter. Government shouldn't be commenting on internal matters. That's a political issue. So I feel, is government in the right position to comment on issues that are internal within the PF?
Thank you very much. If I may pick that right away. Thank you for that question. When I started, I said that government has a mandate to protect all citizens, including members of parliament. Secondly, government is not interfering in what you are referring to as internal matters of the Patriotic Front. Government is simply stating a position that those members of parliament were performing national duty in parliament, and therefore no one is going to interfere with the work of parliamentarians. It's a duty of government to ensure that those who are on national duty are protected, including members of parliament. So the issue we are commenting about, if they were going to be expelled because they didn't attend a national, what do they call it, a member of Central Committee meeting, we were not going to comment, because those are internal matters. But if you are going to say you have expelled members because they were performing their role as parliamentarians, then government comes in to let the nation know that such an expulsion is a nullity, because we are the guardians of the law, of the land, to ensure that the law is applied to maintain law and order in the country. So that is what it is, straightforward. Yes, sir.
My name is Mweetwa from Christian Nation FM. I wanted you just to elaborate more on what she had earlier asked my colleague. Don't you think you are the executive now, you're acting like you are the courts? Why can't you allow the courts to interpret this matter, rather than you, the way you are sounding like you're very sure you most that is final, you have interpreted the law, and even the courts cannot do anything? Maybe just
thank you very much.
Understand what you're saying.
Thank you. That's a very simple question. Here is the issue. Number one, there is no court matter before the courts for you to say we've taken over the role of the courts. There is no court matter relating to that expulsion for you to say we have usurped the power of the court. There is no court matter. Are we together? There is no court matter. Secondly, we are being definitive about that being a nullity because we are relying on the law, that in terms of the law of the land, Cap 12, parliamentary privileges and immunity, okay, it does confer upon members of parliament immunities that what you do on the floor of the house, not even the courts of law have jurisdiction over what you do. And you heard my debates. So it's a law, it's not me who says so. It's a law that we have created for ourselves that stipulates that when members of parliament are debating and voting, no one who is an outsider has jurisdiction, not even in the courts of law. So it's not me saying it, it's the law. Straight away, business. So read the law. It's the law which says not even the court can interfere with the proceedings. But with the expulsion, the court can hear that entertainment. Yes.
I'm sorry, Honorable. I just want to
No. This is media engagement. You are
yes. So, I don't know. I think I'm confused because why is government, first of all, why is government commenting on PF matters? I do understand that what happens in parliament is for government, yeah, and it's parliament. But the aspect of expulsion is a political party matter. And if those MPs were elected to be in parliament, right? and they stand on the ticket of what? Their political party. Now, the way you've put it, it seems to me that now government has more power, even the individual political parties. Because if you can come here and say, what Mr. Given Reader said is a nullity, it doesn't hold any water, because you as government spokesperson indicates so, it means the party doesn't have power. And so I think MPs are elected and they stand on a ticket. And the ticket that they stand on is a PF ticket. And that PF, that political party, has leaders and its own leaders, which are not from government. So where I'm missing it as me is how is now government commenting on an expulsion? That's an internal matter. Whether those MPs were doing their job, voting for Bill 7, whether they were doing their job, that is different from them being expelled from their party. And their reasoning behind that. So I don't understand why government should now start commenting on political party issues, even if it relates to a decision that is related to government.
Thank you. I think that if you were paying attention, some of these things have already been ironed out. I have indicated here that the reason I'm commenting is because I have been receiving phone calls to say, are we now going for by-elections? And I'm saying there is a law which governs the conduct of members of parliament. And I've also said here, if the expulsion emanated from their internal activities, such as not attending a member of Central Committee meeting, we would not have commented. It's just like you or any government worker. When you are involved in some circumstance, you are on duty, okay? You are involved in an accident on duty. Doesn't the government come to your aid? But when you are driving a government vehicle, but you are doing personal things, government will not come to your aid. You are off duty. So the members of parliament were on duty, and it is the execution of that duty which has caused them to be expelled. That is why government comes to assure the nation that because the members of parliament were on duty, and our laws at parliament stipulate very clearly that when you are executing your mandate as a member of parliament, there is no individual or no political party, not even the court, can have a say over your conduct. Now this political party wants to have a say over the conduct of members of parliament by expelling them, giving the reason that it's because they voted for Bill number 7. I hope it's clear now. Yes.
Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning.
I'm Jeff Bemwa. I publish the Zambia Informant.
Don't worry, we'll get to more clarity after we're done with everybody.
Yeah, just two quick ones. I noted that in the Bill 7, there will be an expansion of Parliament with a delimitation coming on. I just wanted to find that when possibly we could see the delimitation report. Well, and also, just a rider on that one. I'm happy you brought in the issue of farmers, urging them to plant more. But there's still an outcry of non-fulfillment of what is due to them. What is your assurance to the farmers so that they go back and do what they did and they just end it?
You're saying there's a second question, I think.
The second question is your call to the farmers to do more than what they did to boost the food security. Okay. But they're still concerned that you haven't paid them in full. A number of them may not have even gotten. What is your commitment on this?
Thank you very much. First of all, to do with the delimitation report, I cannot commit here. But I know that there is cabinet on Monday. So I don't know what will be on the menu of cabinet, and will be on hand to update the nation. I'm sure with now the passage of this particular bill, these issues will soon come out for public consumption. They are not for us, they are for the people. The law which was made was for the people, not for us. So whatever is attendant to that law has to be brought out for the nation. The issue to do with FRA, I think the last time we sat at cabinet, the concern was not the failure by FRA to pay. The failure was the slowness with which banks were paid. Because I can give you as an example myself. I took about 3,000 bags of maize to FRA, and I signed more than 30 receipts. 30 receipts. And then those 30 receipts had to be photocopied. And if me, I could get tired signing 30 receipts and waiting that long, what about my mother from the village? To sit there and being made to sign receipts. So that was the thing at the last cabinet, which was brought to the attention of the Ministry of Agriculture, to see how they can expedite the processes, because you find that in a whole day, some banks will just pay 50, 80 people. In this era of digitalization, you expect expeditious dispatch of transactions of that nature. So I think that, again, when we get the latest at Cabinet on Monday, which is just after 2 days, we'll again engage the nation to give statistics of how far we will have gone in payment of farmers. But I want to let you know, as a participant myself in farming, out there, people have done double what they did last year. When you move around the farming areas, fields that have not been plowed for 20, 30 years, they are all under active cultivation right now. It tells you that people are in the business. And the good news is that whereas FRA dragged a bit, the FISIP program disbursements were right on point. And FRA, lagged behind a bit, because initially government had just budgeted for, under the realigned National Disaster and Emergency budget, to purchase only 543,000 metric tons of maize, having in mind that we had sufficient stocks, including those we had imported from Tanzania, that we still needed to deal with. But because of the better pricing that FRA was giving compared to private, grain traders, farmers brought 3-4 times what government had initially budgeted for. And being a government which wants to increase and boost maize production, you could not tell FRA to say, no, just buy what is in the budget. You had to say, okay, we are a government. Government is a big machinery. It's better you pay farmers late than never. And it's better farmers sell to FRA than tell them to go out and find and sell to briefcase, traders who were buying at 180 kwacha, to ensure that our farmers are not going to be disadvantaged by private grain traders. But I can tell you now that going forward, in the next farming season, these things will be things of the past. Because as you have seen, for the first time last month, the train getting into the DRC, in more than 30 years, for the first time, it carried goods, it carried government's storage capacity in readiness for these imminent unpredictable climatic challenges, and also enough storage facility so that we have enough at any given time to export. So the president is talking about enhancing marketing arrangements of our produce so that with a better market, you have a better price, you can pay farmers on time. And me, I don't like comparisons, but people shouldn't forget that in the previous administration, farmers used to get paid in February. Okay, when the planting season is way over, and they never used to complain as much as they're complaining now. But they are complaining now because they appreciate the capacity of this president and government. So they are on firm ground. But everything will be okay, like the president assured yesterday. Yes?
With regards to banks not paying farmers on time, What is your words to them as we prepare for the 2025-2026 funding system?
Well, the banks are a private sector, and so we look for a very healthy work collaborative arrangement with them. They have been very useful to President HH and also his administration, and we want to maintain a cordial working relationship with them, and that is why certain things we don't like to deal with them through the media. We engage so that we give a better outcome. Yeah, I think we are done. Call it. Any more questions? Looks like none. But then, thank you so much for you colleagues from the media who have turned up at short notice, and also for those who have been following us on TV and other various media platforms. We thank you for your support throughout the year, and for you, dear colleagues in the media, we still need another engagement before Christmas.
Yes.
Thank you so much.